I'm here with the Montreal band Crisian. Beyond Creation.
My name is Simon.
What do you do?
I play guitar, triangle, and vocals.
And you, sir?
Kevin, and I play saxophone.
Before we go any further, I keep hearing that the Parisian French call the Montreal French 14th century French language. How do you feel about this?
Have you ever tried poutine?
No, what is that?
It's the greatest meal in the world.
McDonald's French fries and a hot tub of KFC gravy?
It happens to be called poutine in Montreal.
Delicious price.
Well, let me ask you, is the prejudice between France and Montreal more Montreal people look down on Paris, or do Parisians look down on Montreal people?
I would say both.
Both?
Yeah. We look down on Paris people because they're different.
The thing is that we can say whatever we want and they just don't understand us. So that makes us at the advantage point.
But I would think that because the Franco language originated in mainland Europe, that the new people would have changed the language, but you actually preserved French.
Yes, we did. Because we are the first who was using it.
I would say we just like use the words from the church for blasphemy and swears, but they don't understand that.
Yeah, so words like tabernacle, do these words exist in French?
Yeah, it's a tabernacle. It's a cup where they put the bread in. And I don't know why we just use those words, like, because they couldn't use these words outside the church before, but now we just started saying it all loud everywhere.
So the story is that religion was really oppressing people in Quebec in the 60s, and people got really mad about it, and they start using word from church as swear word. Just to, like, I don't know, provoke or just be, like, out of this oppression.
How do you feel about the original vocalist of Cataclysm?
Yeah, he used to play guitar, I think. And now he's only doing vocals, but he's a good guy, yeah.
I thought he was the best vocalist ever, but he actually is mentally ill. Have you heard this?
Never.
Maybe.
Well, if I may, I'm actually not from Texas. I really want to tell people that I'm not from Texas because Texas is stupid. I don't know how you feel about it. I know that you probably cannot say that Texas is stupid because it will lower your...
wouldn't mess with Texas, ever.
But the Montreal area of Canada... I called the death metal that came from there math metal because it was beyond technical death metal. How do you feel about this?
That's what we are. We are beyond creation.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of good bands in Quebec and really good metal scene. And yeah, since maybe Rush or like...
Yeah, Voivod.
Other bands that was already playing like progressive stuff, like more technical, I would say. It really got into like our atmosphere or kind of genre, and now Montreal is, I think, renowned for technical stuff.
Why are the death metal bands from that area more technical than others? Are you afraid?
It's because we have winters, so it keeps you inside. Makes you swear a lot and want to make some badass riffs.
But it's beyond badass riffs. You have some very strange musical structure, and I was just wondering if a band from either Montreal or Quebec because they're two different. Because I was in Quebec and no one hated me for speaking English. But if I go to Quebec City, I know that would be different.
Maybe because they're more French over there.
Yeah. So, would you be afraid of not being complex death metal?
No, it's not. I mean, we just play what we like to play, and even though the newest album is maybe less technical, but it's as complex, I would say.
Simplicity.
Yeah, like the chord progression, the like choice of notes, and all the ambience, how it's like composed. It's more, I would say, it's more complex, but less technical. So yeah, it's just different kind of shift that we did.
You are presently on Season of Mist.
Yes. Right.
Is it because Mike Barbarian is from France, although he's Algerian? Do you have a prejudice against Algerians?
Absolutely not.
Do you think that an Algerian speaking French is an insult to France? Is it because you hate France that you embrace Mike Barbarian being from Montreal?
I think it's awesome that he speaks French, and he signed us because actually we played with Obscura back in 2012 and in Montreal.
Is that not an Gorguts album?
Oh yeah, the how does it called? Hammer Smash Face.
No, that's Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, damn. Sorry, my bad. But,
You're bad what? You're bad English?
But yeah, exactly. But we played with them and they really liked our style, and obviously Stefan is good friend with Michael, and he talked to Michael for us actually. So then.
You coward! The interesting thing is, Montreal specifically was known for the very crazy, what I call mathematical death metal, but Western Canada produced a band called Archspire, which is also on Season of Mist. How do you feel about this?
They're really, really good. I like their stuff. They're good guys too. Really nice people. We toured with them a couple of times, and yeah, it's unique. They have their own feels. It's really fast, and yeah, that's cool.
I was not joking, by the way. I was in Montreal a few times, and every single time before I left, I was told that there's this big prejudice against Anglo people, whether it's Anglo-Canadians or English-speaking Americans. Even though I'm not American, you may think I am. I'm fooling you, but no one gave me any problems in Montreal. Have you been in Quebec City, and can you tell the world how different it is from Montreal? Because Montreal, seriously, is one of my favorite cities to visit.
I would say no. Everyone's normal there.
Yeah, well, of course they try to protect the language, but still a lot of people speak English in Montreal. Maybe more in Montreal than Quebec, though. Yeah. The only thing why we maybe prefer Quebec is because in Ontario they don't sell beers in convenience store. That's the only thing.
Well, getting back to your particular style, was it logical that you were signed to Season of Mist? Because that label seems to take a chance on what I always call mathematical death metal. You would not like being called metalcore, right?
That would not really fit our style, I think. I bet. But yeah, we're really happy to be on Season of Mist. They're really nice people to work with, and they also, it's a give and take. It's a nice relation. We do a lot of touring, and that helps them also at the same time. And yeah, it's awesome.
What led to this tour with you as a headliner? in America?
Well, we decided to do this algorithm tour cycle where we play the full album, and yeah, we just choose the band that we like and would love to play with, and that we know people will be excited to see too. And yeah, I think it's a really nice package that we got here. Every band is different, have his own authentic sound, and like in the end, it's all mixed, blend really well together.
Have you toured America before?
Yes, we did.
A few times. Last year with Obscuro, we played here at Gas Monkey, and we played several times before that.
Have you noticed a difference between the areas of the country, and if you did, which area of the United States is most receptive to your crazy style of death metal?
It's always different from one city to another, and sometimes you have, like, even if you play in the same city, you can have like a different vibe one year to another. But to me personally, I would say California is really, like, they move a lot, they're really excited about it. It's just that, yeah, they have a different kind of showing it. Maybe some people are more analytic, others like to trash, and yeah.
I don't know if you can tell this about me, but I like to interview people when I'm drunk.
Good for you.
And
Speaking of, taste that delicious double red IPA from Texas. Don't remember the name.
IPA, of course, only a French-speaking person would drink something like that. That's like that's like grapefruit juice with bubbles. But anyway, the cameraman Dave told me that I have interviewed a band called Crisian, and somehow in the interview they mentioned Beyond Creation. I don't know what the mention was.
We had 30 riffs in a song. Cataclysm was like doing 8-minute songs, 7-minute songs. I understand that world. Cryptopsy, Voivod, all these bands. Now you got a new generation of bands like Beyond Creation and all that. They're doing that type of thing. Like the tech death metal. It's just Canada has a different water. It's a different place. It's not matchable with any other country. It has to work harder to get noticed. It has a different animal behind it, and you got to be crazy like that. And it has some great musicians in Canada.
What do you think they might have said about you? Or he? I don't want to say they, because that implies that guy's not confident in his gender. So I did not understand in America. I don't know how it is in Montreal, but I kept wondering when I was growing up, there was this emphasis on correctly saying, like, each person has his or her, or I would not say, like, this man did something, he surely did it. In America, on the news programs, people say, like, every person should have their. Like, every person is one! There is plural. So I did learn later that these gender anonymous people like to say their. So in French, is your language destroyed by the perverted people who claim to be other sexes than their biological ones?
That's a lot of words and
like you
sentences.
Like let's say French. I know that in most European languages, when you want to speak politely of someone, you refer to the person in the plural. So in America it would say strange. It's strange in America because you is singular and you is plural. But if I were to meet you, I'd say all you people. But the pronoun for that,
Kind of.
Y'all people.
So does Canada? And by the way, the father of Canada is Canada. Does Canada have a? Yeah. Does Canada have a very strange change of language to incorporate these strange freaks that don't know if they're male or female? Does at least Montreal participate in this change of language for people who only comprise under 10% of the population? Do I have to say gender-neutral pronouns if I were to go to Montreal?
Yeah, you would definitely.
Really?
No.
Montreal.
Montreal, I've never been there.
No, I mean Montana.
Montana, I've been there. I live there. But I left all my DVDs inside earlier, man.
We're in trouble.
We'll help you.
Oh.
Oh,
Taking us.
don't worry. That he's just protecting my virginity. Can you tell me if there is a lyrical theme in your band? What it is? I'm sorry if I try to trap you into being politically incorrect, because that is the death of any band, right?
Yes, there's many different themes in the lyrics, and we mostly actually talk about environment and how people react to each other, and how we should, I don't know, there's just so many problems, and we need to shift and maybe change our way of living to be able to get there at some point.
So your lyrics are not about dragons or
No, not even.
horror.
No, it's about the future, mostly.
Hey, man, I agree with that. And you should come to Montana and sing about that there.
Well, if I may, can Emily hold the microphone and ask about Skinny Puppy and something else while I make pee-pee?
Do you know Skinny Puppy?
No, I know Snarky Puppy.
Skinny Puppy?
Nope. Not at all.
No.
Skinny Puppy. They're from Canada.
Are they?
They are.
Okay, how about South Park?
South Park. It's awesome. Yeah, it's the greatest. And they just
The
put
show.
out a new episode where they playing in a band metal band.
Dying
And
Fetus.
Dying Fetus. That's so sick. That's awesome.
Yes. And they China banned them. Did you hear about that?
Was that?
China banned South Park
Really?
after that episode.
Okay, well,
But you made a South Park reference earlier about the food.
About the food. The chicken and the cows. Or the dolphins and the whales. Kill the chicken and the cows. It's better than killing the dolphins.
Fuck you, dolphins. And
Fuck you, whales!
fuck you, Anna. And the fuck you, dolphin.
May I just ask a serious? I don't know if I ask you anything serious, but because of the complexity of your music, are you more of a Pro Tools band, or is everything that we hear on the record from you?
yeah, absolutely. Have you heard our show tonight?
You reproduced the recordings, so
Yeah, we played everything. We also hired people to do the harmonies.
well, how do you feel about the compression of modern music, where if you were to see a file on the computer in the old days, we see the waves, but now everything is a brick.
Yeah. It depends on the style of the music. There's still a lot of music that have a lot of dynamics, and that's where we try to go more and more, where you have a lot of dynamics and textures in the songs. But I would not see Archpire with things that goes to wavy, because I don't know, it's just, it fits the style, so it just depends on what you play and what kind of ambience do you want.
And would you say or agree that Gorguts is the father of the very crazy, dynamic metal from Canada?
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're wrapping it up, but beyond Creation, what are other bands that people might want to enjoy who have the dynamics in metal?
Other bands that are similar?
Yeah, French or not.
Well, Obscura, of course. I don't know.
A lot of bands. from nowadays.
From Australia. They have a violinist. It's pretty good.
Next, I would say Virvum from Switzerland. Virvum.
Never heard them.
You gotta check them out. They're good friends.
Okay, so I've got an opinion. From Montana, I've listened to a lot of stuff, and I think that the Loudness War seems to be almost over, which is fucking great, to be honest. And I feel like Dynamic Range is actually coming back in, which is amazing.
Exactly.
We're getting more and more things on vinyl, which you can't do as a fucking brick on Audacity. So the fact is, like, the more and more that we see albums on vinyl, the more and more better quality we get from our music. And I love seeing that.
But what about bands who record digitally but then produce analog vinyl? Isn't that backwards?
Kind of what we do.
Ah! And where can we find nude photographs of the band members?
Hopefully nowhere.
Now, I can't help you in that respect, but if you want to check out some Montana metal, check out Blessed Doom and Walking Corpse Syndrome.
Do they sing in French? Or do you sing in French?
Des cathédrales.
How do you count to 10? Is it un, deux, trois?
Trois.
All right, so is there any French word that a Montreal person would pronounce differently?
Tabarnak.
Tabarnak? How do the French say it?
They just don't say it.
But bonsoir, do you say bonsoir?
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Skinny puppy.
Oh, did they ask you the skinny puppy question?
We don't know them.
I don't know them either.
It was snarky puppies.
The person who's operating the camera is not really metal.
But he likes skinny puppy.
Skinny puppy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's calling the ASPCA if I saw one.
Oh, gosh.